So 1st and 10 now from the 30. They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. Over the middle, complete. It's Adams. Only a couple for him there on the game's first play, and it's 2nd down. I think defensively you're okay with that. Here in the first quarter, he's going to get some catches, but they rallied to him quickly.
And that's what you count on, and I like what you just said. First quarter, can you do it all game long? They catch it, you tackle them, they go down on the spot. Because when you're able to do that and you don't give up big chunks of yardage after the catch, now you put the offense in a position where every series they have to work hard to pick up first downs, and you tend to stall them out when you do that.
Good yardage after the catch. Is that play good for 30 and a first?
We expected this defense to be tested by this passing game coming into this one, and there's an example on this first possession of the game.
So a 1st and 10 upcoming from Browns territory now at the 38. Now run straight ahead with Warren. And nothing much materializing there on the first down run. He'll get a couple, and that's it.
Well, any lane that might have been open there was closed pretty quickly, and that was because the defensive front, they won that battle at the point of attack at the line of scrimmage. They used great leverage, held their spot, and stacked him up.
And this will be a gain of 5 as he gets it to the 30.
And there wasn't much room for the big tight end to do much after the catch. But at least he was able to pick up a solid gain to help his offense continue to move in the right direction.
Third and 3. He'll look to throw. That's to Bowers once again. And he is going to have the Raiders first down as this defense unable to hold. It's a 7-yard gain there on 3rd and 2. That early game script that they drew up is working pretty well here on this first drive. Already in field goal range, Charles knocking on the door of the red zone.
You know, Brandon, when we met with the coaching staff, they kind of predicted that they would come out firing like this. I think you and I were a little skeptical that it'd be this easy. But they certainly knew what they were doing in scouting, in preparation, and understanding what their team was capable of.
On first down, he'll drop to throw. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. And he is in. Touchdown, Raiders. 23 yards for the touchdown. And the Raiders will strike first here in this wild card matchup. So they take the opening kickoff and drive it all the way down the field.
And that's the last thing you want defensively. On the road, in the playoffs, and now you're down a touchdown right away.
Extra point right down the middle. And that makes the score 7-0. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. And not willing to risk a return. This ball's going to come out to the 30-yard line. Watson and the Browns now with a 1st and 10. Right at the 30. They'll try and start this drive in the air. He finds his man, complete. It's Russell. Short completion, just 4 yards, and that will bring up 2nd down. We'll see what kind of mindset they have here offensively after giving up the touchdown on the opening drive.
And based on our time with them, you know, prior to this game, I feel like they've got a good mindset going in. In fact, the discussion that we had with the coaching staff was, you know, we may give up some points in this game, so our offense has to be ready each and every time to either equal or try and get us ahead and try and keep us ahead. This is their chance to respond to that first touchdown given up.
That good for 19 and a 1st down.
Well, when you're a road team in the playoffs, when you're a wild card, what's the one thing you need to be able to do to stay in football games? Run the football. And that's an excellent job right there of identifying where to go and picking up good yardage.
This one left side caught by Gibson. So just 3 yards on the completion there. And it'll be 2nd down.
I know it was a gain, but you have to sense probably a little bit of disappointment there because when it's out there in open space, I think they expect to get more out of a play, don't you?
Especially when you're getting it to your guy out of the backfield. You're expecting him to be able to create something, be a little more shifty.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Good open field tackling held it to an okay gain.
That burst good for 20 and a first down.
Good, strong, explosive run that started inside, which means you've got to control those defensive linemen, the defensive tackles, the nose guards. Those guys have to be controlled. How about the offensive line, the job they just did?
Yeah, key that A-gap usually on those runs, right?
That's where it all starts because everyone wants to kind of control that area. It disrupts things from the defensive side and the offensive side. As we just saw, it opens up possibilities.
Calling a gain of 3 on the play, and that'll bring up second down.
It's vitally important to wrap him up immediately because if you let that big guy get a head of steam up, boy, then you've got real trouble trying to get him down.
But they're able to hold him to a short gain on first down. That's out to the flat for Gibson. And this will be a gain of 6 when it's all said and done, down to the 15 from the 21. Well, we know he can run the football too, but he's a good pass catcher, and that's been on display here, Charles, on this opening drive.
And we certainly have seen the benefits of what he did in the offseason, which was spend more time with wide receivers, working on routes, working on cuts, in order to make himself a more complete running back and even more of a threat downfield.
Yeah, the Browns are going to have a first and goal coming up as they find a way to convert there on 3rd and 1. So they gave up the early touchdown. This has been a pretty good response. Nice drive, taking it down 1st and goal.
And I know all the cliches jump in, right? Don't get away from your game plan too early. Make sure you're settled down. Don't panic. But it's all true, isn't it? Because otherwise, you get out of what you planned.
In trouble, and he'll go down back at the 12. Multiple players combined for their team's first sack of the game. And, of course, that's not an easy man to sack. You know how elusive he can be, trying to get outside of the pocket. That was a great play on the defensive side.
Now, I wonder what was going through his mind because he didn't seem as committed to using his legs to pick up yardage. He wanted to keep that play alive, so either take off and go or throw.
And he's going to go down again.
We said it before the game, and I think it's still apparent. If these guys are going to advance in these playoffs, they're going to have to wreak some havoc coming off the edge.
Yeah, wild card round. They told us the wild card could be that defensive pressure. They showed it there. After one, 7-0 on EA Sports. This is a big play in this wild card matchup, facing 3rd and goal. Watson now to throw. He'll dump that off to Gibson, complete. And he is into the end zone. Touchdown, Cleveland. Antonio Gibson, a 12-yard touchdown grab. And the Browns are an extra point away from drawing level. Hopkins with the extra point, and we are tied at 7. Each team's had it. Each team has scored. 7-7 here as the kick's away. And no chance to see a return on the dynamic kickoff. They'll move this out to the 30-yard line. The Raider offense set to get this drive started. So both of these teams, Charles, coming off touchdowns now, but this offense, they just had to stand on the sideline, watch their opponent author a really impressive drive to reach the end zone.
Yeah, and I think you're not telling yourself the truth if you don't think there's some one-upsmanship going on right now, because they just had their touchdown answered by a drive of double-digit plays that also found the end zone. Now they want to do something even more impressive to answer that one.
2nd and 5. Short throw caught by Bowers. Just a gain of a couple there. And this will wind up being a 3rd and 3.
Oh, it's time to give a little credit there to the defense. They played that very well because it was a drag route, and he ran it a little shallower than normal as he worked straight across the field. He was hoping he'd get lost behind the defensive line, but once he made the catch, nowhere to turn upfield and gain any yardage.
On 3rd and short, they'll try and pick it up through the air. Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And he is going to have the Raiders first down. They needed 3. He doubled that. He got 6. Back to throw now on first down. It's caught here by Adams. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. A pickup of 10, and it's enough for a Las Vegas first down. A nice grab there for a guy coming off a terrific season, one that saw him have over 100 catches.
And when you have that many catches, that means you're a full part of the offense. And let's face it, he's been as good as anyone in the NFL this year. So it figures he's going to play a big role in whether his team can advance in the playoffs.
They'll stick with the passing game as he looks to throw. Short throw caught by Bowers. He's tackled a yard short of the marker. Good gain of 9 on first down.
Brandon, perfect defense in this situation would have meant that there was an incompletion. They would have picked it off. Okay, so they gave up the completion. But I really enjoyed watching how the defense stayed in sync, stayed in great communication. And as he dragged across each zone, you see him pointing, communicating. There he is, and they passed him off to each defender. Ended up making a nice play, even though it was complete.
His second catch of this wild card game, and it goes for a first down. A handoff for Warren. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up 2nd and 11.
Sometimes I think these defensive tackles get a little bit of a bum rap. We just see them as big guys that eat up blockers for others to make tackles. Oftentimes, they're quicker than they get credit for. And this time, he uses quickness to make a play.
Looking for Godwin, and he's got him complete. And he'll go down right on the edge of the red zone following a pickup of about 7 or 8. Here comes play number 9 now as they come up on a 3rd and 3. In motion right goes Adams. Out of the gun now on 3rd down. That is caught. And he'll take it into the end zone for a Raider touchdown. Davante Adams. A 20-yard touchdown. And the Raiders have taken the lead. Extra point splits the uprights, and that makes the score 14-7. On as the Raider kickoff unit now as they will send this one away. And no run back forthcoming, so this will come out to the 30. The Browns drive about to get started. After that last score we just saw, now 14-7, so a chance to march down the field here, try to tie this football game. And he'll go out near midfield at the 49. 58 yards rushing for him in this first half, as he has certainly carried over his regular season success into the playoffs. So one play, and they're already just shy of midfield. They'll fake the handoff. Now Watson. Throw left side complete. That's Gibson. Well, they'll get this to the 30-yard line before crossing over out of bounds. It's another first down on what will be a gain of 21 yards.
A lot of times the key is just get him the ball and let him do his thing, and they got it out to him on the left side, and he did exactly that. Excellent run after the catch.
Back-to-back good plays have him on the move on first down. Back to throw, Watson. Trying to lay one up deep. And this one is incomplete.
There is something to a game plan with trying to keep a defense honest. With a guy with that type of speed, you do so. Send him deep, try and throw some air under it, and hope you connect downfield. On that play, they were unsuccessful.
Here's 2nd and 10. Watson. On target over the middle to Hill. And finally down he goes as they work it inside the 10 to the 7. 23 yards the final tally.
Boy, how about the speed with which this offense can get down the field? It's taken them no time at all to get down here. And now they're set up with a 1st and goal.
Watson looks to throw again. And that's going to be caught for a Browns touchdown. Jerry Jeudy, a 7-yard touchdown grab. And the Browns are an extra point away now from tying this ball game. Extra point good by Hopkins. And that is going to tie our game as we approach halftime. This one tied at 14 now as he sends this one away. And no run back here. That's going to be a touchback. And we'll bring it out to the 30-yard line. The offense for Las Vegas about set to begin the drive. It was still more than a minute to go in the half. Time to try to mount a drive.
And I would think that they would have to. This is today's NFL. You got to push it whenever you get an opportunity. You can never have enough points with the high-powered offenses that you face. And analytics will tell you, try and score when given the opportunity.
Caught on the right side by Adams. The Raiders going to use one of their timeouts as they'll get a chance to talk it over after picking up the first down.
Any questions of how they'd approach this drive were answered right there. They come out throwing, and they get a nice pickup here toward the end of the first half.
Now on first down, he'll drop to throw it. And the Browns pressure gets to him that time, and he's going to go down. Now the Raiders going to go ahead and use the second of their timeouts as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. Got to imagine the pass rush will be equally intense here on second down following the sack. It's 2nd and 18. They're going to look to throw. Under pressure, they got him again. Now the Browns will use the first of their 3 timeouts. So as they talk it over, we step aside.
Okay, let's go back a little bit and see if my schooling comes to the front. What's that old saying? Those who forget the lessons of history are doomed to repeat them. That's the same guy who's gotten back-to-back sacks. I think a double team may be in order.
Need something from deep in the bag of tricks here after first and second down went backwards. It's third and very long. They'll drop to throw. Pass complete right side to Bowers. Now the Browns signal for the second of their timeouts as the stoppage will come with a little under a minute to go in this first half. Here's the Raiders punter now. Back deep is Tyreek Hill. And he gets it away, a directional kick going toward the sideline. And now where will the side judge stop his walk? That's the question. He says it crossed out of bounds at about the 17-yard line. The Cleveland offense ready to go. And they've got just over 50 seconds to go till halftime, so they can try to put something together if they want. And he's going to get this one across the 30-yard line. Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. Now Watson. And that's caught inside the 35. And he'll take it into the end zone for a Browns touchdown. David Njoku as the first half is winding down. And the Browns have taken the lead here in the final stages of this first half. Hopkins with the extra point, and the lead is now 21-14. So not much time to speak of remaining in this first half as the kick's away. And we will not have a return. They'll bring this to the 30. The Las Vegas offense ready to start this next drive. And with time quickly fading here in the second quarter, not sure how aggressively, offensively they want to play this.
I think we'll find out just how much they trust their guys in this situation if they decide to take a shot.
Now the Raiders going to burn their 3rd and final timeout as they'll stop it with 14 seconds to go in this first half. They'll look to throw here on first down. He'll let this go for Adams. Incomplete, and we're down to 8 seconds now.
Good defensive call right there because they had someone shadowing him along his entire route. And he was right there ready to provide a hit that prevents him from making another catch to his big start.
And 2nd and 10, he'll look to throw again. On the out route, this is Adams with a catch. And he'll take this to the other side of midfield before going out of bounds. That one will go as a gain of 11. Raiders having a first down as well. And you see the clock almost empty, so this is likely the last play in the second quarter. They'll throw now on the final play. Here's back-to-back catches for Davante Adams. And he'll go out of bounds after taking it a little further down inside the 40. So with 1 second left in the half, on is the field goal unit. This from 54 yards away. Narvis's kick is good, and that will do it for this first half. And we welcome you back now. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin, getting set for quarter number 3 here. Both teams trying to avoid being one and done in these playoffs as we start the second half of this AFC wildcard game. And we will not see a return of the dynamic kickoff. And the first drive of the second half will commence from the 30-yard line. The Browns drive about to get started. And they've been the better of the two teams through 2 quarters of play, much to the chagrin of this home crowd.
Yeah, this score is a surprise to a lot of folks at home, although not to my dad. He predicted the visitors would win. And maybe to the folks in the stadium. But you know who is not a surprise to, partner? This team with the football. They were very confident coming in.
To throw is Watson. This is the tight end, Njoku. That's a staple of this offense. Drag route to the tight end.
Yeah, he's unable to use his size to break off much more yardage after the catch, but still an effective gain nonetheless.
Here comes 3rd and the length of the football. They'll run with Gibson. And he will have first down yardage as he's brought down at the 41.
Most of their damage has been done through the air. I mean, they've rung the bell 3 times with passing touchdowns, but guess what? Ground game has not been neglected. Nice little burst right there.
On first down, right back to Gibson. Trying to find a lane, but instead he'll get back to the line of scrimmage, and no more. No gain on the play there. 2nd down. Well done to sniff that out defensively. He had it diagnosed pretty quickly.
I love that description because diagnosed is perfect on that one. Read his keys, made the play, and he couldn't even get going moving the football.
Here's Watson. He finds his man, complete. That's 4th. So the completion good for 6 yards, and it brings up 3rd and 5 now. They'll need 5 on this play to move the sticks. Here's Watson. Open man, he completes it to Judy. And he is going to have a Browns first down by about a yard. It's a gain of 5 on 3rd and 4.
I don't care how many times we say it. I still get a kick out of watching quarterbacks and receivers do the pass tree in pregame warm-up. But I always remember that when we go to practices, we see that after practices as well. They really tune it up, don't they?
They tune it up. They know why they do it for these situations. First down.
And they build that trust, and that's why they're able to find him in this type of a situation.
And that one results in 35 yards. From the 13 now, they work on 1st and 10. This is 4th. And here he'll get it down to the 7. 64 yards rushing for him now to this point.
Looks to me like maybe there's a little attrition setting in with this drive, because when you see that type of a run, I get the feeling the defense get a little bit tired.
And that's the last thing they need, especially when they look up at the scoreboard. Again, they turn to Ford. And he's able to get it down to the 2-yard line. A 5-yard gain, and now they're set up 1st and goal.
Well, this has been a long drive. In fact, it's eaten up a good chunk of the 3rd quarter, which is precisely what you want when you're playing with the lead. You control the football, you control the clock, and impose your will on the defense.
They'll try to run this one in, and he'll take it into the end zone for a Browns touchdown. Taking it in from 2 yards out, and the Browns take the opening kickoff of the 3rd quarter and drive right down the field to extend their lead. Extra point good by Hopkins, and that pushes the lead up to 11. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. And not willing to risk a return, this ball's going to come out to the 30-yard line. The Raider offense set to get this drive started. And their deficit a little wider than it was at halftime. Does that touchdown a minute ago change the thinking here at all?
I think it does, at least a little bit, because now urgency has to start setting in. You can't go out there and go 3 and out and run the risk of falling behind substantially, but you have to do it without pressing, because pressing, that leads into bigger errors.
And he'll get up near the 45. They'll spot it at the 44. 6 yards the pickup, and that's a 1st down.
Well, you know they had a 3rd down play on standby just in case, but he says no need with that carry. Runs like that will continually earn him more work in this and future contests.
They'll look to throw now on 1st down. Got his man. It's Warren. Call it a gain of 6 on the play, and it's 2nd down.
Just about every quarterback is trained to really look downfield first before you come back and make a nice, safe throw. And in this case, that's exactly what he did. Found his running back, let him create some space, and it turned out to be a nice play for the offense.
Well, he tries to force it in, and it's intercepted. And he'll return this ball across midfield to the 47-yard line. Boy, he had to fit that into a pretty tight window over the middle. And, Charles, I think they were in zone defensively, weren't they?
They certainly were. Nice read on your part. And sometimes the quarterback isn't fooled between zone and man. Sometimes just fooled by the type of zone that he sees. Because oftentimes those linebackers will vacate and run downfield with receivers. In this case, he played a pure zone and was in the wrong spot for the QB.
They run with Ford. And he picks up about 6 as he gets this down to the 41.
An opportunity to get a drive started here at the end of the 3rd quarter. What you're trying to do is break the game down a little bit. Don't let your guys see too deep into the game, into the future, and say, oh, we got to get here. No, right here, right in front of them, melt the clock down, get to the 4th quarter, try and keep going.
And try to keep that lead.
Exactly.
Oh, and that one well designed as he'll take this down to the 30-yard line. That's good for a Cleveland 1st down, an 11-yard pickup.
And in a situation like this, you're in the 2nd half with the lead, trying to get to the division round. They're going to let him do his thing on the ground, and that's a great run there to pick up a 1st down.
1 quarter remains for the right to survive round 1 here in the... So 1st and 10 now from the 30. Shotgun handoff to Gibson. And room there to work it inside the 25. A solid run on 1st down. Gain of 7 leaves him with a 2nd and 3. Now, I think we can get used to seeing more of that in this 4th quarter, especially if they're having success on the ground like they did there.
Yeah, I think back when we met with the head coach in preseason, and all he talked about was building a bully. And I think it was this situation he was envisioning. Trying to ice a game, plenty of time left, but being able to give the ball to his big runner and pound away and try and finish off a game.
So no gain on the play, and it's 3rd and 4 now. In search of 4 yards here to pick up the first down. From the gun on 3rd, Watson. Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And he's going to have another first down as the tackle comes at the Raiders' 12-yard line. That'll move the sticks for the Browns, a gain of 12.
Partner, I like that they're staying aggressive on offense because, to me, this drive is what is known as a put-away drive. You score here, that might put this one to bed. I like the fact that they're playing with confidence and not playing with fear.
On 1st and 10, it's Gibson. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12.
No daylight for him to run through there, and he ran into the defensive tackle, and that guy blocks a whole lot of daylight as it is. He is truly a big man who just made a big play.
And they'll bring Judy in motion right. He's going to get it on the jet sweep. A nice display of powerful running, but it takes him only to the 7. He's dropped there. 8 yards on the run, and that cuts this down to a 3rd and about 5. On the ground, it's Ford. And this will not be enough. On 3rd and 5, he only gets 3. The Raiders going to use one of their timeouts. And as the two teams talk it over on their respective sidelines, we take a break. And with things looking pretty good on the scoreboard, they're going to keep the offense out there and go for it here on 4th. Now contact up front as penalty markers come in. Who is this against? Hoping for a 4th down stop. Instead, they flinch and move the chains.
Flinch, jump, not watching the ball. All the sins that you're not supposed to commit, they come into play there.
So now from half the distance closer, here's 1st and goal. They'll try to run this one in. And he'll barrel his way into the end zone for a Browns touchdown. A great play there. His 2nd touchdown of the night. And the Browns continue to pull the playoff surprise as they lead big here on the road. Hopkins with the extra point, and the lead is up to 18 now. The Browns kicking team out there now as they'll send this one away. And no chance to see a return on the dynamic kickoff. They'll move this out to the 30-yard line. The offense for Las Vegas about set to begin the drive. They are most likely staring at a cold end to their season here in this wild card round. Nothing has gone right so far. And they are, to be frank, in desperation mode now as they begin with a 1st and 10. They go back to the air here after the INT on the last drive. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. So one play, and they're already just shy of midfield. Now back to throw. Short throw caught by Bowers. You got the big lead defensively. Willing to give him that underneath stuff, right?
And this is why you work on your tackling. Tackle them after the catch, inbounds, keep the clock running. Just go ahead and bleed the game out that way.
And he is out of bounds, but not before he's inside the 30. They've got another first down. The Raider passing game clicking on all cylinders right now. Again, he'll drop to throw. Under pressure, and down he goes. They sack him back at the 36. Don't need it all back at once, but you figure they're going to need something here. 17 yards to go on 2nd down. Throwing the out route incomplete. That's Adams. The offense on 3rd down tonight, they've been good. 3 for 4 thus far. This is 3rd and 8. Looking to throw. He's going to pick up the first down and then some. And he is in. Touchdown, Raiders. Chris Godwin, 27 yards. And the Raiders have got it back to a two-score game here in the fourth. Point after, right down the middle. And that'll make this now an 11-point deficit. 2 scores down, 2 timeouts at their disposal. This is a critical onside kick. And the Browns are able to cover this one up. And that's why you have your hands team out there on the field. Those are the best guys ready to make that play.
And let's face it, it was executed well. It wasn't a bad kick. It wasn't anything like that. Just that the normal outcome actually came to play. Analytics will tell you it's a very low possibility of getting...
And nothing but green grass here, middle of the field. And all the way in. Touchdown, Cleveland. A great effort there. Saving his best for the playoffs with his 3rd touchdown of the game. And the Browns have put this one to bed here in the 4th quarter. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. And no run back forthcoming, so this will come out to the 30. The Las Vegas offense ready to start this next drive. Well, this game, it has had no shortage of offense. They've been able to put up a decent amount of points on this side, Charles. They just have not been able to keep pace with the other offense they're going against here.
Yeah, that's a good way of pointing things out because now it's not a total loss because, as you said, they've scored some points, so there's some plays they can build on, moments where the game plan actually worked. But overall, though, they were just out personnel. They were going up against a team that's playing at an elite level.
68 yards receiving now for him in the game. And a first down on that last catch as well. He'll look to throw. Oh, he rifles one, and it's going to be intercepted. And the Browns are in great shape here as they take over at their 46-yard line. With the points that we've seen scored, neither defense has been at their best, but these guys have been a little bit better, Charles, and a nice interception there.
Yeah, you're right about that, Brandon. Let's face it. It's not always how you start, it's how you finish, right? So maybe you have a rough game all the way along, but if you make a big play like that at the right time, it can make everything turn out just okay.
Here's 2nd and 7. They'll try and run some clock here as they keep it on the ground. And this will be stopped at the 44. That one good for 7 yards.
I like the call there because that was one to take time off the clock and get them closer to getting out of here with a W. In the mind of the play caller, all you want to hear is tick, tick, tick.
On 3rd down, 4. And he'll be taken down, but he does have first down yardage. Hate to be blunt, but it is just continuing to prove to be the case that this O-line is manhandling this D-line right now.
They deserve to roll up their sleeves and show up their biceps because they're doing exactly what you just described, manhandling the defensive front. They've got the leverage, they are powering through, and they're controlling this game.
The defense can stop it twice more as they take a knee here. They said beginning of the season they wanted to get past the wild card round. Well, they just got past the wild card round.
How about that, being able to put the big check marks up in the locker room, right? Get to the wild card game. Check. Got that done. Win a wild card game. Big check. Now you've got to go ahead and set your sights higher. There is a bigger prize out there, and they still have an opportunity.
So that'll do it for us. For Charles Davis and all our crew, I'm Brandon.